Hello, friends. So today we will talk about referencing styles, and we will talk about the two commonly used referencing styles. So the first one is Vancouver. Now, when it comes to referencing, there are two types of referencing where you have to use both. One is the in-text. What I mean by that is that whilst you are writing your manuscript, within that manuscript you have to reference that what is the source of your information, and the in-text reference is is something which you can see here. So when it comes to Vancouver, you only have to put numbers there. So you've written a sentence and you want to reference that, and if that is the starting of your manuscript, your first sentence for example, then you put one there. Bibliography is the end, text references. So what I mean by that is you have completed your manuscript, you've put all the in-text references, and now towards the end you are writing a reference list, and that is where that is what is called bibliography. Now, when it comes to Vancouver, you usually don't you have to write it in an order of your in-text references. So what I mean by that is, so say if you've put 1, 2, 3 in your in-text references, so your end text, your reference list will be in that order. So when it comes to the bibliography of Vancouver, if you are referencing from a journal article, then you put a surname first, then the first name initial, second name initial, and so is with the other co-authors. Once you've put the details of the authors, starting with the surname, then initials of the first and the middle name, then you put the title of the study, then the name of the journal, year when this particular article which you are referencing was published, which volume of that journal was it published, and the page numbers in that journal article, in that journal where this article could be identified. So that is the journal article for Vancouver. This is an example. This is a reference of one of my articles where you can see Jamali, which is my surname, and Qutub, that is my first name. So Jamali comes first, then the initial, and so is with the other co-authors. Then the title of the article, then the journal, the year it was published, volume. So this was the year it was. They've also mentioned. You can also mention if you've got that the date and the month and the year, then volume and page number. When it comes to referencing from a textbook, then it is the surname first name initial, second name or middle name initials, and so is with the other co-authors, title of the book, which edition it was, country where this book was published and printed, the press, name of the press, and the year. An example being Styles Essential, where you write the title of the article, then the edition, then the year, edition, sorry, and then the country where it was published, where it was printed, the journal or the press where this book was printed, and then the year of publication. The other commonly used referencing style is Harvard. When it comes to now here there is a difference between Vancouver and Harvard. In Vancouver, when you're doing an in-text reference, you're putting numbers, but when you're using Harvard, then you're putting the surname and the year of publication. So there is a difference there. So in the in-text reference for Harvard, if it is up to 3 authors, Then you put the surname of each author and then the year of publication. For example, if there are two authors, then you put their surname and the year. If it is more than three authors, then it is the surname of the first author, and then you write et al. And then the year. So this is how it would look like: the name of the first author, and then et al. If it is more than three authors. When it comes to the bibliography, if it is a journal article, it would be surname first, the first name initial, and so is the with the other co-authors. Then you put the year of the publication of that article, the title, name of the journal, volume, and page numbers. And this is an example. If it is book, again, surname and the initials of the first and the middle name, and you add your co-author details as well accordingly, just like the first author. The year, title of the book, which edition it was, the press, the country where it was printed and published. And this is an example. Now, let's see what, so if you look at the referencing style, the in-text is you can see the contrast there. For Vancouver, it is the numbers, and for Harvard, it is the surname and the year. But when it comes to the bibliography, the referencing list, you can see the subtle difference there. Now, obviously, this also matters, the comma and the full stop and comma, this also matters, that there is a change there, as you can see. The surname and the name is same. However, just look at if you're putting the surname in Vancouver, surname, then the first name initial and the middle name, there are no dots in between. But here in Harvard, there is a comma after the surname, then the first name initial dot, the second name, or the middle name initial. And then there is a full stop, comma, and then that's how it works. So these subtle changes, it does matter. Then if you see the other difference, in Vancouver, the year where of the publication is here towards the end. But at the Harvard referencing style, it comes immediately after the author details. So you can see that difference there. And the other difference is the use of commas and full stop and semicolons and all. So that subtle difference is there. So we have to be mindful of these differences, which is the key when you're referencing. Because if you don't do it properly, if it goes to if you have submitted to a particular journal, some journals can edit that. They've got a team where they can proofread and they can do it. But sometimes they may ask you to do it. Most of the time they would ask when the article is under review, then the reviewer is expecting you to be efficient in referencing styles, in appropriate use of the referencing styles. So once it is accepted, then the journal can, when it is when the article goes for printing, then then the journal can manage that, and they will proofread it, and then they will make those amendments if required. So when it comes to the difference between the Harvard and the Vancouver referencing style for a textbook, again, if you see, if you put the initials here also, it is the same. In Vancouver, the year of publication comes towards the end, but in Harvard, it comes immediately after the author details. So these subtle changes we all have to be mindful of. So I hope this was useful. This was my attempt to briefly describe about the subtle differences between Vancouver and Harvard referencing styles. There are other referencing styles as well, but I just wanted to touch base on the differences and what differences you might expect in other referencing styles as well. The purpose of this video is to take the referencing very seriously. Because then if you don't take it seriously, and if there are any mistakes, then there is no escape. You have to do it at some point. So in order to save time, make sure that when you're doing it in the first instance, make sure you do it right, so that you don't have to keep repeating this and keep doing this again. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.